Tonight is Game 1 of the annual Fall Classic, the World Series, this year between the Philadelphia Phillies and the Tampa Bay Rays. Weather won't be an issue in Tampa, they have an indoor stadium, but outdoor World Series games, especially in northern cities, occasionally run into weather problems. Now, the potential for weather to impact the World Series went way up in 1995 when the major leagues expanded and added an extra round of playoffs, pushing the World Series into late October. No World Series game has ever been snowed out, but snow has fallen during at least 3 games. 2 in Chicago during the 1906 World Series between the Cubs and White Sox, and more recently, snow fell in Cleveland before Game 4 of the 1997 World Series between the Indians and the Marlins. The official game time temperature was 38 degrees, the lowest in World Series history, and wind chills occasionally dropped into the teens during the game. Now, last year's World Series between the Boston Red Sox and Colorado Rockies had weather disaster potential written all over it. Late October snowstorms are not uncommon in Denver, and 3 inches of snow fell there just 2 days before the World Series opened. Had there been a Game 7, it would have been in Boston on November 1st, when evening temperatures are routinely in the 40s and occasionally the 30s. As it turned out, the weather was not an issue. Now, as for rainouts, there have been a total of 32 in the history of the modern World Series going back to 1903. The most recent was 2 years ago, Game 4 in St. Louis between the Cardinals and the Tigers. A lot of the rainouts have come in bunches. For example, in 1911, Connie Mack's Philadelphia Athletics were rained out 6 straight days trying to play Game 4 of their series against the then New York Giants. The 1962 series between the New York Yankees and the San Francisco Giants, which featured future Hall of Famers Willie Mays and Mickey Mantle, was rained out 4 times and took 13 days to finish. And Boston Red Sox fans may remember that the epic 6th game of the 1975 series, that's the one when Carlton Fisk hit a dramatic 12th inning home run, that game followed 3 straight rainouts at Fenway Park. The longest delay between World Series games wasn't caused by weather, but rather another natural phenomenon. It was October 17, 1989, Game 3 of the first ever World Series between the 2 San Francisco teams, the Giants and the Athletics. About a half hour before the first pitch, a magnitude 6.9 earthquake hit, causing billions of dollars of damage in the Bay Area and delaying the World Series for 10 days. Now, that series still finished in October, but next year's World Series won't even start until October 28th and will finish up in November, as late as the 5th, if it goes 7 games. That'll be just the second time that the World Series will end in November, and we can only hope it won't involve 2 northern teams with outdoor stadiums. Paul's back with the extended forecast next.